I don't know, like when I was like homeless or whatever, just like hanging out downtown kind of sucked because I would just sit outside because like at the time the library was closed, which I think is really pathetic and makes a city look really bad if it doesn't even have a public library downtown because it's just kind of like where people without homes or jobs just kind of hang out. So I'd end up hanging out at Firestorm, and Firestorm is cool in the sense that like you can hang out there and you don't have to buy anything, and it's like the only place, and they have like internet that you can use. But then it's also like weird because it's like just another trade-off where it's like because there's lots of people coming in and people just hang out there because there is nowhere else free to hang out. There's just like a lot of like homophobic and like transphobic people hanging out in there and just like saying stupid shit, so you have to be around that. So it's just like a weird trade-off where it's like, well, I guess I can go sit in here and I don't have to be in the sun, but I'm probably gonna have to like feel intimidated by someone. But yeah, whatever. And I don't really think now the library is open so people can hang out there, but those are pretty much the only two places that you can really hang out in. And I'd also just hang out in Green Life, the grocery store, a lot, and I just wander around the grocery store, which just felt kind of pathetic. And then I'd go and smell all of the incense for a while and smell all of the oils and just feel like I really had no life.
If I had only known.
I would just feel like I just like most of the time felt like a 14-year-old mall goth just wandering around, because that's what I did when I was a 14-year-old mall goth. I just wandered around because I had nothing else to do and I didn't have a job yet. So that's kind of how I felt when I first came to Asheville, because there was nothing to do. And there are parks, but they seem to be kind of like spread out, and walking everywhere kind of sucks. I still walk pretty much everywhere. I take the bus sometimes, or I try to, but it only runs on the hour, which is annoying. But the parks are kind of spread out, and yeah, other than that, there's just like nothing to do here. It's kind of boring.
You said that you weren't necessarily sure if the things that you and your friends did in Milwaukee were because of like Milwaukee itself, or things that it had to offer as a location, or if it was just like because you and your friends lived closer.
Well, in Milwaukee, like everybody lived like very close to each other. We all lived in this neighborhood called River West, and everybody was within like 2 blocks of each other, so it was a lot easier for everyone to hang out. And here, that just people, I guess my friends just like live all over the place, so that just like is kind of challenging for all of us to hang out, because I think that our circles are just like, it's very necessary for us to see each other very often and just like hang out and be very close to each other and like support each other. And if you don't have a car, as I was saying, that's kind of hard. And I had a bike, but then the tires rotted out and exploded, and I don't have money to fix it. And even if I did have a bike, I probably wouldn't be able to bike anywhere from my house, just because the roads are so narrow and it's like a really high level of traffic, and the sidewalks are extremely narrow and have like telephone poles or whatever like sticking out of the middle of them, so you can't really bike around them without going into the road. And buses are terrible.
Maybe let's go back to what you were saying about the visibility of the gay community here, and yeah, if you just do you want to like elaborate that on?
Yeah, it just like doesn't like, I see like a lot of people that like I just like perceive a lot of people as like queer or like some kind of like variation of that when I'm just walking around, but it doesn't necessarily seem like there's any kind of like scene or whatever, or like there's like much like camaraderie, and I think it's kind of weird that like, because like, I don't know, earlier Heather was telling me that Asheville has like one of the highest, what was the phrase that you used that I like, it was gays per capita or something, and people often refer to it as the San Francisco of the South, which just really surprised me, because like other than like seeing queer people, it doesn't really seem like there's like anything like very queer about this city. It just like seems specifically like a tourist city, like it's like for tourists, like it just like seems like it's like run by people from out of town, and like the queer people just like happen to like work and live here. And just like one example that I was thinking of earlier was Transmission Prison Books. Is like I see a lot of flyers for it, and it's like a very visible like queer group. It's a group that supports queer and trans prisoners and just writes some letters. But as far as I know, there's only like 2 or 3 people that are really that involved with the group, and I am not involved, so I myself am guilty of that. And that's out of like just total laziness to ever like actually go and get involved, and then also to try and like figure out with like some personal issues or whatever. Let's see.
Have to be able to see ourselves.
But yeah, just the fact that like there is like this like group that is like very visible in the sense that there's lots of like flyers and just papers everywhere for the group, but when it comes down to it, there's actually like no one involved. So it's not like there's like really queer people doing anything. And I like to think of like when I think of like queer people and like what they do, I like to like think about like some kind of like scenes or like some kind of like groupings where there's like people doing things, or they're like whether it be just like partying or like political or whatever. But I feel like people just kind of like live here in like a very quiet way, and it's just like not what I'm used to, I guess.
How do you feel about like more mainstream sorts of queer activism that have happened in Asheville since you've lived here?
Since I moved here, I haven't really like seen any of it. Like there really hasn't like been any. But I did like read things about the attacks that were happening around like during May or whatever. And those things I was like really not happy with. I just kind of like skimmed articles about how there was like some kind of like protest or rally, just highlighting all of the violence that was happening, but the wording that was used in the release or like the press statement I just found really problematic. Just one specific example is the person who organized it used the word alleged hate crimes, and I just think that's like extremely passive and a very weak thing to say. These were definitely hate crimes, and I just like think it's like very problematic to use that kind of language, because it just takes away from like how terrible these things were, and like just like saying that they were alleged just like shows that like people just like have no spine, and they're just not willing to commit to like how there is violence happening against queer people. And it's just like it's just trying to like, I don't know how to word this, like it's just people trying to like make everything appear so much more passive, and just like it's just like cowardly as far as I'm concerned to like say that they're like alleged hate crimes. It's just people like trying to be polite. And there's also a lot of like talk about like cooperating with the police, which I think is like also very problematic and just very terrible, because I think that police are always people who just typically like target any kind of like marginalized person, and have always just like attacked queer people and like brutalized queer people and like trans people in any capacity. So,
how do you feel, I guess maybe this is a 2-part question. We've kind of already talked about like what you think like the like goal of Asheville as a city is. Yeah, so what you think that is, and then how you think queer people fit into that.
Okay. Okay, so that's like one thing about me is I'm very good at criticizing things. I'm not necessarily very good at finding solutions or offering solutions, which I think is maybe how a lot of people are, and that's a problem. But whatever. I don't really know. One of the things I think would just be like better for Asheville and transportation is just like better buses or whatever. The buses are terrible. Because of the buses, I feel like I'm put in danger more often because they don't run very late, and then I don't feel like I'm safe when I'm walking home at night, and they only run once on the hour, and the bus drivers are usually pretty rude and sometimes won't let me off at my stop. And the other solution that I have been thinking a lot about lately is the heterostinction. And the heterostinction is where all queer supremacists, such as myself, rise up and begin to wipe out all heterosexuals. And
get more Christmas lights going on here.
More Christmas lights. And many of my friends probably won't even survive the heterostinction. I might not even survive the heterostinction just because, I mean, there's lots more people that are, I don't know, a lot more queer than me or something. I'm kind of just,
you don't even feel like you're queer enough.
I mean, I'm just kind of like a gay boy, so I'll just hope that I don't get killed. But I think that is one definite solution. We just start killing all of these straight people and tourists from out of town in Asheville. That's my only solution. Wipe out heterosexuality and everything will be solved. I don't really have any actual solutions though. I think just people actually like getting together and talking about things though and having more solidarity with each other would be cool though. Or like queer people just, I don't know, just hanging out or something.
The contrast of such a peaceful solution with the heterostinction. Honestly, that's shocking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you feel like there, I guess to wrap it up, since this is getting kind of long, do you feel like there is a gay community in Asheville?
Well, the phrase gay community is obviously always like kind of problematic because it just suggests that there is like some kind of like universal gay identity and that everyone like has like some kind of like shared experience and background, which is obviously not true because people have all these different backgrounds and come from different places and are extremely different people and feel nothing similar with another gay person, whatever. So I don't feel like that is really there, but it would be cool if there were just like small groups of like queer people or just like whatever, like little groups of people doing things, which there kind of are, and like, I mean, like me and my friends are that, and like, I don't know, we're just like a bunch of like faggots and trannies and whatever else just hanging out and doing whatever, I don't know, but I don't fucking know.
Walking around the Green Life and
I don't do
smelling the
interviews,
incense.
I just walk around Green Life and eat apple crumble yogurt and get chocolate cherry muffins every day, so I don't do anything, lost my job, so.
I guess maybe that's it. Do you have any last thoughts or comments or weird prophetic statements about the...
I feel like there are other things that I'm thinking about, but I can't remember them right now. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm talking a lot of shit on Asheville right now, but I think it does have the potential to be a really awesome place, and obviously like some really cool things do happen here. There's a lot of really great people, and I don't know, like I was saying before, there is space to be some kind of weirdo here, and I still have to figure out how I feel about that and what it means to have that space and at what cost to other people it comes at. Yeah, and I don't know, support the Asheville 11, look them up, Asheville 11, that's why I'm here. I'm not one of them, but that's what I'm here for. Yeah, that's everything I think.
Great. Thanks for doing this project with me. Oh,
yeah.
Yay! Community.
Yeah.
Friends.
Queer solidarity.
Heterostinction.
Heterostinction. Kill all straighties.